Welcome to this explainer. Gentlemen, if you're over 50, you already know the rules of the game have completely changed. I mean, what worked perfectly in your 30s just doesn't cut it anymore, right? You go to your doctor, you get your blood work done, and there it is, that creeping A1C number staring back at you. And what do they tell you? Just watch what you eat and exercise more. But we know for a fact it's not that simple. So today, we're not going to talk about counting calories. Instead, we're uncovering a very specific biological secret to lowering your A1C and actually taking back control of your metabolic health. No fluff here, just the hard science on how a highly specific 10-minute post-meal mechanism can physically alter how your body handles sugar. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. It's incredibly frustrating, isn't it? You cut out the junk, you try to eat sensible meals, you follow all the conventional guidelines to the letter. And yet, year after year, your doctor tells you that your A1C, which is just your average blood sugar over the last 3 months, is still creeping up. The reality is, standard dietary advice often completely fails to account for how an aging male metabolism actually processes food. Your body isn't failing you at all. It's simply operating under an outdated set of instructions that ignores exactly how our cellular machinery ages.
To really understand our goal here, we have to look at the actual numbers. Labs will often tell you that a fasting glucose up to 100 or even 126 is quote-unquote normal, but the source data we're looking at is crystal clear on this. 80 to 95 milligrams per deciliter is optimal. To put that into perspective, once you hit 100, you're already in prediabetes territory by metabolic standards. So why does this happen, even if you're careful? Well, it's because an overworked liver literally dumps stored sugar into your blood while you sleep. Your body kind of loses its ability to regulate energy efficiently overnight, so you wake up with those fasting numbers creeping up into the hundreds. We need tighter control over that liver, and to get there, we absolutely have to rethink how we fuel the machine.
I absolutely love this analogy from our research. Think of your body like a high-performance car. If you only take it out for a spin occasionally, but you never put in the right fuel, or you completely skip the routine oil changes, it's going to break down. For us, guys over 50, constant feeding without giving the engine a break severely wears down our metabolic machinery. We're asking our bodies to run at peak efficiency day in and day out, but we're constantly flooding the engine with fuel. And you know as well as I do, you just can't flood an engine and expect it to run clean.
So the crucial point is understanding how glucose actually gets into your cells in the first place. Think of insulin as the unlock key for your cells. It basically opens the front door so sugar can get inside and be burned up for energy. But when you eat constantly, we're talking from breakfast right on through to late night snacking, that lock gets physically jammed. Your pancreas is pumping out more and more insulin, desperately throwing more keys at the door, but the lock is stuck. This, right here, is exactly what we call insulin resistance.
Just look at the contrast here. Constant feeding jams the lock. It leads to hyperinsulinemia, where your poor pancreas is overworking just to manage basic blood sugar from a simple meal. But when you introduce fasting windows and some light movement, it's literally like taking that jammed lock apart, cleaning out all the grime, and oiling up the mechanism. When you finally do sit down to eat, the key slides in perfectly smoothly. But that begs the question, what happens if your lock is already jammed right now?
Seriously, think about that for a second. If your insulin isn't working efficiently right now, how on earth do you clear the sugar out of your bloodstream after you eat a meal? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is meeting your hidden biological hero. Gentlemen, say hello to GLUT4. That stands for glucose transporter type 4 proteins. I want you to visualize them as tiny, highly efficient cellular glucose vacuums. And here is the absolute game changer. Under the right conditions, they operate completely independently of insulin. You don't even need the key to open the door if you can just turn on the vacuum and bypass the door entirely. Which brings us to the exact mechanism. This is a literal biological hack known as GLUT4 translocation. When you do some light movement, the physical contraction of your leg muscles triggers this entire process. It forces these GLUT4 transporters, these vacuums, to physically travel from the deep center of your cells all the way out to the edges, right to the muscle cell's surface. And once they hit that membrane, they just start soaking up blood sugar directly from your bloodstream. The simple, rhythmic physical contraction of walking literally pushes these transporters to the surface to do their job. This means your muscles can absorb massive amounts of glucose directly from the blood without needing a single extra drop of insulin. You are completely bypassing the pancreas. While your leg muscles are doing the heavy lifting, your pancreas actually gets to sleep. It finally gets a vital break from the constant demand of pumping out keys. For men over 50 whose insulin response is already a bit blunted, this is huge.
You stop blood sugar spikes dead in their tracks, and you naturally lower that A1C just by using your largest muscle groups as a massive glucose sink. Let's move to and see how this builds into an actionable daily routine based on our sources. It's really just 4 steps. Step 1. Fast overnight, ideally for 12 to 16 hours to let your insulin drop completely. Step 2. Get some light movement in while you're still fasted to prime those muscles for the day. Step 3. Break your fast properly with whole foods, making sure to avoid those rapid carbohydrate spikes. And step 4, the absolute linchpin of this entire strategy, the 10-minute post-meal walk. I honestly cannot overstate the importance of this step. This 10-minute post-meal walk is not about burning calories. Please do not think of this as a grueling exercise session. It is a highly specific, strategic biological hacking tool. By just walking for 10 to 15 minutes right after you eat, you activate that GLUT4 translocation right at the exact moment the glucose is hitting your bloodstream. You completely blunt the blood sugar crash. You catch the spike before it even happens, and over time, you literally train your body to improve its long-term insulin sensitivity.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happens next. When you combine that post-meal movement with those fasting windows we talked about, a massive metabolic shift takes place. You trigger a coordinated transformation, forcing your body to stop relying on quick, cheap sugar and start tapping into deep, stored fat. Doing this creates a huge surge in a molecule called NAD+, which is basically the master switch for your cellular health. It yells at your body to stop its grow and store mode and instantly shift gears into clean and repair mode.
That repair mod actually has a name: autophagy. It's your cell's literal garbage disposal system. When you aren't constantly spiking your insulin with food all day long, your cells finally get a chance to pause and clean house. They break down old, damaged, misfolded proteins and recycle them for pure energy. So by utilizing that 10-minute walk to keep your insulin low and fasting to give your digestive system a rest, you are literally triggering a biological anti-aging process for your entire metabolic system.
Now, of course, what you actually eat when you sit down for that meal matters immensely. Breaking your fast with whole foods, think fibrous leafy greens, healthy fats, and high-quality proteins, prevents inflammatory spikes. If you break a fast with a plate of refined carbohydrates, well, you instantly jam the lock again. Eating optimized whole foods works in perfect synergy with your post-meal walk to keep those glucose vacuums running smoothly and efficiently.
To truly maximize your results and lock in a permanently lower A1C, you have to protect this protocol from its 3 main enemies. First up, lack of sleep. Sleep deprivation directly suppresses the SIRT1 longevity genes that make this entire system work in the first place. Second is stress. High cortisol is a primal survival response. Your body thinks it needs immediate sugar to run from a physical threat, so it literally forces your liver to dump glucose into your blood, completely defeating our purpose here. And third, artificial sweeteners. They actually trick your gut bacteria and your taste receptors, signaling your body that sugar is coming, which instantly halts fat burning and completely shuts down autophagy. Gentlemen, it really all comes down to this. You have the tools. That GLUT4 mechanism is built right into your physiology, just waiting to be activated. If a simple 10-minute walk after dinner can physically hack your cellular locks, clear the sugar out of your blood without needing extra insulin, and fundamentally drive down your A1C, what else is your metabolism waiting for you to unlock? Take the walk. Take back control. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.